And greetings, visitors to the paper prison. It is I, your host, the Comics Prisoner, sentenced for crimes against comics illustration to be forever imprisoned within beautiful pieces of comic art. And today's theme is rehabilitation, which all prisoners must go through. There are many aspects to rehabilitation, but one of them is learning. And that's what I hope to do today, to learn. As you know, I am an inker, and there are many reasons why we ink in our art. One reason is, of course, to be paid, to profit by it. Another is sometimes for our own enjoyment. And hopefully, most of the time, it is to learn. And today I'm going to try to learn by inking a drawing by a master of comic book art. I really think he is a modern-day Renaissance master, Mr. Alan Davis. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say one of the things I really love about the comic book art form and the comics industry is I feel it is the last place left still in the world where the ability to render the human form realistically and have mastery of it is still valued. Now, I came to this realization just over 35 years ago when I was in college, and as I took illustration courses, I could see that when it came to the human figure, there was two ways commercial illustrators came about it. One, you either traced a photograph of someone and then expressively and artistically colored it, or you did a very caricatured or distorted rendition of the figure for artistic expression and to communicate a theme or whatever the client wanted you to communicate. The actual ability to render someone's likeness in life just didn't seem to be valued. It seemed to be that thing you did on your way to making art, but not art itself. And I was really depressed by that. I still feel that's the case, especially now in our society, where I think any kind of rendering has been rendered moot by the fact that we have cameras in our pockets and we can take pictures of people rather than drawing them. All right, end of the lecture. So to that end, I have grabbed a drawing that Alan Davis has done off the web in an attempt to not only learn, but to celebrate the art form and to celebrate the talent of Alan Davis. Now, as you'll see, this is a very resolved drawing by Alan Davis, very complete. This is not a sketch. This is definitely something he would turn over to a client or an employer. I'm not going to be adding much of myself, if for no other reason. I'm trying to learn from him, but there is differences, and I just want to say that, but even here, when you're inking, the joke is that we're just tracers, but our job is to draw the drawing again, not redraw it, not trace it, but draw it again. And there has to be some kind of transition, some interpretation from graphite to ink, and if you don't do that interpretation, you can really hurt the drawing. And that's still what I'm going to be doing here, even though this thing is really great. That said, no matter how fine or wonderful the drawing is, you just cannot follow it line for line without thinking. It will just make a dead image. And hopefully I'll be able to show you that in real time. So why don't we start and head over to the drawing and get inking. All right, so a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can see yourself as we're starting to draw on Hulk's face. You can see everything's there. I'm pretty much just trying to do service to his drawing, and soon I'll be working on his hair, which is going to be a bit of the first challenge I'm going to hit because I don't have any hair. I don't look at hair a lot. I haven't studied it as much as I should. However, as nice as that hair is, if I was just to follow it, it would really fall down. I have got to interpolate that hair, so I have to bring what small understanding I have about hair to this drawing. So I'm getting started here, and I think I'm meeting the challenge. Just going back and forth a little bit, feeling it out. Some erasing, and okay, and just about there. And I think I did an okay job. So now I'm continuing following the lines on his back. Really just trying to preserve it and interpolate his rendering. Now this is another big challenge, that shadow on his left shoulder. If I was just to follow that, it would really fall down. I had to try to relight it in ink. This is what it comes down to. But I think I did a good first pass on it. I'll probably come back at it and look at it again. Now I'm going down the arm, doing my thick to thin lines and trying to interpolate his rendering. That back right leg was where I could pretty much just kind of fake that cross-hatching. The forearm was very difficult because, again, there's a lot of gray in there, not definitive lines in there, and I had to interpolate what all those shadows would be in black ink. Okay, now look at that right hand. Oh, look at that thumb. This is where I say Davis is a modern Renaissance master, because a true anatomist is constantly drawing hands and feet, not just the skin-covered hand and skin-covered feet, but the bones, the skeletons of the hand. That thumb is a real thumb, and boy, he did a great job there. Okay, now I'm finishing up the left arm, forearm, and that fist. Now the funny thing about Alan Davis that I really love is how he has studied and understands and can translate the muscles in the abdominal and the serratus muscles. And the funny thing is that none of those muscles are apparent in this drawing, which is a bummer, but oh well. Okay, so we're going to the left. We're going to get in the left shin. And you would think that those cross-hatchy lines in the shadows would be the thing I would interpolate the most. But those, I felt I ended up holding on to those, just interpreting them as best as I could. Here we go to the left foot, and again, look at those toes. Those toes have been studied and drawn in life. I am learning so much drawing those toes, maybe more than actually drawing from life. Now there are a few places in here, like that back right foot, where I could have had a lot of more of my input, more of me. That's the only one of the few places he kind of shorthanded it there. Also on the earth, on the dirt there, where there's a little more gray and not as many defined strokes, I could have had a little more fun. But there's still so much there that I'm just taking the ball as he hands it off to me. I'm not trying to change anything. And the clouds in the background from the Hulk's impact landing, that's also that's where I get to have a little fun. And okay, now I'm going to second guess myself and go back into the shoulder. I'm just wondering how, I'm second guessing myself, working a little bit on the trapezius, and I put a little, a few more things in the trapezius, but I think it's done. And whatever you may think of my inking on this figure, God, I learned a lot. So that's it. I'm going to leave this picture here for you to enjoy. If you want to see more of the works of Alan Davis, there's so much out there. He's done so much. He's worked on everything from Batman to the X-Men. He is a true master, and I love his writing as well as his illustrations. It's so vast, I'm going to just say, just Google it. Go to your local comic book shop, ask them for help with current printed pieces and collected works, and you will not be disappointed. And finally, it looks like the warden here is saying that visiting hours is over. So again, I must bring this to a close, but I ask you that if you've liked what you've seen here, please feel free to like, subscribe, smash the bell. It really helps the channel, and I'm trying to grow a little community here. I hope I can hear some more comments in the threads below, and there's also the Facebook fan page if you want to check that out. So, the time has come once again to say, 4 walls do not a prison make, but comics can be a very cool prison. Take care. Bye-bye.